Hey everybody, Matt Mullen with Apollo Acres here. Today I'm showing you our broilers out on pasture and this little structure that I built. So Amy and I, we've raised broilers in the past. It's been years. We weren't real thrilled with their quality of life that we wanted to be able to give animals when we were first getting into farming and everything. They had a lot of leg problems. They didn't move around very well. And so we didn't get any more broilers. We eventually found the Pekin ducks, and I've been absolutely thrilled. They just seemed healthier, almost never had like leg problems, and they just seemed like happier animals. And so we really stuck with the ducks. But then, you know, we had interest in getting chickens again. You know, as much as we like raising the ducks, they're a lot of trouble to process. They're worth a good bit. Like, you know, the margin for selling them's good, but your market is much smaller. It's kind of a niche product compared to, well, especially compared to chicken, right? Like everyone buys chicken. So we really want to get back into it. Farmer Amy was a little unsure about it, but we got these chickens from a Valley hatchery here in Alabama, out towards like out past Decatur, out there. I forget exactly what town. I apologize, Valley. Y'all are awesome, because these birds have been great. These are Cornish crosses. That's what we got the first time, but their Cornish crosses are so much happier and healthier, and like we don't like the bad feeling we had when we first started raising these, we don't have anymore. Like they're happy. I mean, so let's see if it'll follow me over here. So if you can see, we've got a fence out here. These are Cornish crosses that honestly we were supposed to process these today, but we weren't quite sure they were big enough yet. They were closed, but I think they need another week. So I think we're gonna process them next week. But they are just, I mean, they're as happy as the laying chickens we've got over there. You know, they're not quite as agile and mobile, but they're healthy. I don't notice any kind of leg problems. Their feathers are coming in better. I'm absolutely thrilled with these animals, and we will keep getting our Cornish crosses from that hatchery. And so there's 50 over there. I've got 50 in here. This is an 8x8 by 2 structure, and I will be, so this basic concept, from my understanding, came from Joel Salatin at Polyface Farms up in the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia. If you haven't heard from him, look him up. He's famous for a lot of this kind of like regenerative pasture-based farming, where we got a lot of our inspiration from. So if you ever seen his, and I mean, I don't remember if I said this, I'm probably about the millionth person that has tried to redesign his chicken tractor concept. But what he does is it's like I think it's a 10 by 12, 2 feet tall structure out of 2x2s and I think 2x4s. This corrugated metal, but it covers 3/4 instead of half. Both sides are like doors or removable panels. I forget exactly how it operates, with lots of bracing, support wires, and so and I think he can have like 70 or 100 birds in his. Mine's about half the size, so my capacity is about 50. But so the reason I didn't build it to like the Salatin spec, and I'm sure decades down the line I'll figure out, man, Salatin was right. I should have been building it like that the whole time. There's a reason why he does it the way he does. But I felt like I had to try this. The reason I did this was I wanted to build something that was going to be very light to move, something that was very cheap and easy to construct. So the dimensions are the way they are because of the dimensions of the building materials. So this is, and of course to accommodate the animals, right? So, you know, the animals need some vertical space, but the 2 foot was the same as Salatin's, but it's also, your chicken wire comes in 2 foot heights. So that means I don't have to cut the chicken wire in this direction in order just to wrap it around. So that's great. This is 8x8, so your 2x2s come in 8 foot lengths. Your corrugated metal roofing comes in 8 foot lengths. And your handy panels come in 8 foot lengths. So I didn't have to cut this. I've got, let's see, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 of these corrugated metal panels. I had to make 1 cut to cut 1 in half for these sides, and that's it. Only 1 cut in the middle. Let's see. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of like, I think 9 of 12. Yeah, I used about 12 2x2s. 9 of the 12 I didn't have to cut at all. These are just 8 foot lengths that I just screwed together and then did the whatever the difference was. These are 23 and some change, somewhere around 23, so that this overall height's 24 inches. And so very minimal cuts. Like I built this whole thing in half a day. Now that I've done it, I think I could build one of these in 3 or 4 hours now. Just like go there, get all the parts. And so this whole structure, so not only was it super fast to put together and simple, didn't require many cuts or special tools, this whole thing only cost me about 220 bucks with everything brand new. That's all the wood, all the metal, all the wire, the bucket, the little fittings, the water itself. Now I don't have a feeding trough yet, so that's something I'm still working on. Like I know Salatin uses these like galvanized trough style feeders. And I'm not sure if that's what I want to do or not. Like, you know, it's good because it provides a lot of area for the chickens to eat from at the same time, because these broilers, they're very aggressive with feed. So that's good. But my problem with it is, one, for some reason I have trouble finding the stuff. A lot of the things that Salatin likes is unusually hard to find. Like he uses aluminum corrugated metal roofing. I can't find that anywhere, so I use galvanized steel. It is heavier, unfortunately, but it's not super heavy. You're not using a lot of it, and it's much cheaper. So, or it should be much cheaper than what the aluminum would be if I could find it. The waters, so these are Pastured broiler waters. As far as my understanding is, this is basically the industry standard for especially broilers, but they make a few different varieties. But as far as like hanging waters go, this thing's absolutely awesome. I'll show you more on that in just a minute. So yeah, these waters are great. But before I get into that, let me tell you a little bit about the general concept of this. Maybe I put the cart before the horse a little bit here, but so the reason for this structure is that the broilers are obviously bigger, heavier birds than like the laying hens are. So they are more susceptible to predators because they literally just can't get away as fast. They can't run as fast. They can't fly as well. You know, even though the layers can't fly very well, they can fly a little bit to get away from things, like up to a little tree limb or something to get off the ground and all that. So they need extra protection. So this is a way, this whole structure is open bottom. So this is a way that the chickens can get access to grass, pasture, fresh air, bugs, critters, whatever they need, while still being very well protected. You know, you may wonder like, well, you know, okay, well that's not great. They're still gonna like, they're still like in their poop and stuff all day, and it's not gonna last very long. So the key is for making this thing light so that it can be moved. So every single day, so like I said, this thing's 8 by 8. So every single day I just move this thing 8 feet. I've got a rope here on the front. It's not very heavy. I can pick it up and move it. I'll try to show you that at the end. And like I said, it's open on the bottom. So every day when I move this, it's brand new, fresh pasture, fresh bugs. They're out of all their poop and droppings. I don't know if you can see it real well, but there's a little bit of a trail behind this thing where they've been the last week. So that's the general idea of these, is that they're just lightweight structures to protect, lightweight open bottom pens to protect the meat birds as you move them across the pasture. So the reason this water is awesome is the water is not stored in the red part that you see down there. It's in the 5-gallon bucket. So I don't have to even open this door to bring in more water, which is great. Anytime, if they're low on water, or in the mornings when I'm just checking, like feeding everybody and doing my normal routine, I can just fill this sucker up and they're done. Also, if there's water still in here, when I move them, see, I've got a good bit of excess slack. And I'll try to show you this at the end if we still have some daylight. I can pick up this bucket and I can just set it down to the side here. Oh, sorry, you may not be able to see that. But anyways, I can take the bucket off. And again, that's a 5-gallon bucket, so it's like 40 pounds when it's full. And now this thing's even lighter to pick up and move. And I can move it 8 feet without having to move that bucket, move it 8 feet to this new spot and just put the bucket right back on where it was. Super easy. And because it's a hanging water, I don't have to move the red thing either. It's really awesome. We just got these and I'm super excited about them. I wish I had discovered this years ago. Like I said, it's the Pastured Broiler drinker, I think is what they call it. You can't order directly from Pastured, and they don't sell any of their products on Amazon. This is kind of what I was saying about Salatin picking things that are hard to find. But I think I bought these from a company called Farmer Boy. I think it's farmerboy.com. It worked really well. Prices were pretty good. It's like 50-ish bucks, 50, 55 bucks, somewhere around there. So it's a little expensive for water, but I think for the features that you get, it's really awesome. And maybe I'll make a video in more detail on this at some point too, because there's a ballast in there. And never mind, I'll get into the details in another video. But it's awesome. But I need to find a good feeder. And what I really want to do, since I have this feeder and this water the way that it is, I would really want some kind of, if I could feed them again without having to open up this door, that would be really awesome. And let me fix this real quick so you can see things a little better. There we go. All right. So of course, if I had a more traditional feeder, I could open up this door, pick up the feeder, fill it up, put it back in. There's a couple problems with that. One is, you know, it's a lot of steps. It's extra work. It's more time. Also, if you've ever had these meat birds, you'll quickly learn that they are like ravenous for like food and water. If they have any period where they don't have enough food or water, like, and a lot of times they suggest like 12 hours on, 12 hours off for the feed. But basically the point I'm trying to make is when you bring them more feed, they like attack. They like swarm at you trying to get to the feed. It makes it a pain to try to put the feed back in there. And every now and then you end up crushing a chicken. Just, you know, you're trying to get them out of the way just so you can set the darn thing down. And it's just a pain, stressful for everybody involved. I don't really like it. So I would love to have some method of feeding them without having to open up the doors or pick up the feeder. So I don't know if that means like a hanging feeder, probably some style of hanging feeder. I don't know if I could hang like a trough. But then what I really want to, like I said, and Salton would have like this panel of corrugated metal, so it's covered. So he would just put his feed like here. Obviously, one problem that I'm gonna have to accommodate for is that because this isn't covered, I can't put my feed over here, because on days that it rains, it's just gonna get wet, it's gonna get ruined. So I'm gonna have to feed back under this covered area a little bit. But if my plan is to be able to feed from the outside anyways, that's not a big deal. So what I was thinking is, well, whatever south feeder I end up using, I think I really want some kind of like PVC pipe or some kind of pipe or something that comes up to where I can just pour feed into and have it fill up the feeder. Then I can just dump water in the bucket. And even though this is a door, I don't have to mess with it. I just leave the door shut. Just fill up the water, fill up the feed, move on to the next one. Water feed, move it, water feed, move it, water feed, move it. No, I say that I would move it before I did those two, because obviously you don't want to have to, there's no reason to move the extra weight. Anyways, I was being silly. Anyways, I'm super thrilled with this thing. Like I said, very fast, very inexpensive to construct, fits 50 birds. I think I'm gonna build 3 more of these. I'd like to get up to having 200 chickens at a time. I think would be a really good benchmark for us to have. I'll go through in details more of these, like the plans for this and like some of the small problems we had here and there for constructing it. But yeah, let me know what you think. If this is your first time watching us, subscribe if you found this interesting, and I'll tell you more about the structure and how we built it and how we raise our chickens and all the fun we're having out here. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Y'all have a good day.